In today's Problem Solver report, another way scammers are trying to take advantage of this struggling economy. KOMO 4 consumer problem solver Herb Weisbaum is here with a very important warning. Herb.
Connie, selling a timeshare vacation property has always been a challenge, and these days it can be nearly impossible. The market's flooded with units for sale. People who are struggling to make ends meet are desperate to liquidate. Con artists are cashing in on that desperation, and fraudulent telemarketers across the country are taking in millions of dollars by making promises they can't keep. As you see, State Attorney General Rob McKenna is here with how you can protect yourself. So it's a serious problem across the country.
It's huge. The Attorney General of Florida has had 8,500 complaints just this year. The Attorney General of Illinois tells us that people are losing as much as $5,000. We get lots of complaints about timeshare and timeshare reselling. It's a big issue.
So how does this start? Just a call out of the blue sometimes?
Often that's it. It's a telemarketer who calls and says, hey, you want to sell your timeshare? So they have lists of people who own timeshares, or they'll see people who are advertising and they'll call. But they call and ask you out of the blue, can we help you sell your timeshare? And by the way, we need an upfront fee to do it.
And that's where they get the money, that's $300 to $5,000, whatever.
Exactly. One of the warning signs is they call you, not the other way around. One of the other warning signs is they want you to pay up front.
Now, I've spoken to some of the victims, and they've all said to me that the person calling wasn't saying, I want to list your property, or whatever. They said, hey, I got a buyer for you. We got somebody, the whole condo is being sold or whatever. Do you want a part of the action? I mean, they really lie to you.
They really do. They basically tell you it's a done deal, it's a sure thing. You just have to pay us, mail us a check, or now, these days, they're saying wire transfer us the money, which is always a red flag, alarms going off kind of situation.
And they have an excuse for why they need the money.
Oh, sure. They have some reason, like some sort of processing fee, paperwork they have to pay for, maybe even some sort of official tax or fee they have to pay.
Down payment, closing
They always
costs,
have
whatever.
a story, Herb.
Right.
That's the thing. These guys are smooth. They have scripts. They do this thousands and thousands of times a week, so they know what they're doing.
And if you were silly enough to send the money, or if they conned you into sending the money, you're never going to see it again.
Well, in many cases, if not most cases, you're not. It's not the way to go to deal with someone who calls you. There are much better ways to sell your timeshare if that's what you want to do.
So you have put together some tips. I want to go through them because there are people who are either in a financial bind and need the cash, or maybe I've talked to people who haven't used them and just say, I want to unload this thing already.
Absolutely.
So let's start with some of the tips that the Attorney General's put together. First of all, the first thing is how you check them out in advance.
Right. What you want to do is go with a licensed company and check them out with the Better Business Bureau, for example. But otherwise, do your homework to make sure it's a licensed real estate broker for timeshares. And
you may not be able to get a broker because you're going to get so little on the dollar, you may have to work on your own.
Right. So the second thing you can do is advertise it yourself. Put an ad out. Now, be careful, because if you advertise your timeshare on Craigslist, you will be contacted by scammers who are pretending they're going to buy it from you. But obviously, you can advertise it yourself, either in general or where you own it, in that community, like, for example, over in Chelan.
And I know there are some timeshare listing places, only about $25 to do it. So again, it's not these huge fees. It's just something you can work on that.
Right. Look for someone who only charges the small fee and try to sell it yourself if you don't want to, if it's not valuable enough to hire someone to sell it for you.
And your third tip for unloading this timeshare?
Well, rent it. Continue to own it, but rent it out. Try to make some money. You can do that a couple of ways. You can rent it directly. You can work with a rental company, or you can work with the owner of the timeshare. If, for example, if you're in with the Westin, they'll often work to rent it. You're going to make less money. They're going to take a fee, a cut, but if you're working with the Westin, that's reputable, it's going to be done right, so it might be worth it to you to have the peace of mind of having someone else handle it for you if you want to rent it.
Yeah, it might be nice to get a little less than be burned for $2,000.
Just a little bit better, right.
Great advice, Rob. Thank you so much. Attorney General Rob McKenna, be careful if you're going to sell your timeshare. Connie, back to you.
All right,